Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. So we mentioned the Rams, 42-26 over the Niners. Rams moved to 7-2. Niners fall to 6-4. Rams got up early. Niners kept fighting back, man. They fought back, but Rams were up 14-0. They got a turnover from the. I had it in my notes here. Got up 21-0 pretty quickly after a turnover. And then, is that what? The landman punch. That's what it was. The landman punch, third one this year, I believe. Landman punch on Jawan Jennings set up another touchdown for the Rams. They got up 21-0. Niners chipped away, kept getting within a score, but the Rams had answers, which was impressive from their perspective. If they gave up a touchdown, they generally came back and scored and kept making it a two-score game before they ran away with it, 42-26.
Yeah, it kind of started the inverse of the last game. Like, the Rams were expected to beat down the 49ers the first time they played, but San Francisco started sharp, smooth, easy, touchdown drive, sort of set the stage for actually that's going to be a different game. But this one went the way it was supposed to go, where the Rams were the team that started, just marched down the field, easy touchdown. Then they, the forced fumble from Landman, and then you're like, okay, even if Mac Jones is able to cook and the 49ers are able to roll an offense, like, I don't know where you're stopping this Rams team, and they couldn't.
Yeah, I see a lot of our friends pointing out the 13 personnel that the Rams are using. They're 3 tight end packages. That's 1 back and 3 tight ends, using it at a ridiculously high rate. And it's just interesting football right now with Colby Parkinson, who had 4 catches, and using him as a run blocker. Tyler Higbee. They got Terrence Ferguson, the rookie second rounder, involved a little bit later. Big play action, 32-yarder to him. Davis Allen. So they've got 4 tight ends rotating through there, in a team that is historically, right? Sean McVay was at the extreme end. You always mention this. Three wide receivers all the time.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, why don't you change up personnel? Why do you never change personnel? Most teams love to change personnel and keep defenses off balance. McVay never did that, and all of a sudden now they're just a big, heavy 13 personnel team, 3 tight ends out there all the time.
Yeah, some stats from Jordan Rodrigue, friend of the show. Coming into this game, the average for the season for the Rams was 16% in 13 personnel, which I think that was the most in the NFL by a couple of percentage points. In this game, 44.8% was in 13 personnel. So they went from we're going to run it 15% of the time to we're going to run it basically half the time because the 49ers don't have any linebackers left. So we're going to keep all of them on the field and go after them with tight ends.
Yeah, and they were running the ball effectively and just setting up play action, boot action, and it was just good offense, good efficient offense.
I mean, you remember that meme of Kyle Shanahan with the binoculars, zeroing, the crosshairs zeroing in on usually a linebacker. That's like Shanahan.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, Shanahan's going to make that guy's life miserable. I mean, the Rams did that, but it was just the entire 49ers linebacking core. They don't have Fred Warner. They don't have, any linebackers that they're comfortable with anymore. So we're going to force all of them to be on the field at the same time, and go right after them.
Matthew Stafford finishes with 4 touchdowns and no picks. He's now up to 25 touchdowns and 2 picks on the season, and he's getting all of the latest MVP hype a little over halfway through the season right now. A couple of those touchdowns, easy pickings, right? Touchdown to screen pass to Puka that he runs through contact. He's such a good runner, man, Puka Nacua. He's good at a lot of things. The body control, catching the ball along the sideline, but just such a tough runner as well. So the screen pass, that put him up 14-0. And then, using those tight ends, the last touchdown, Davis Allen on just a wide open drag route throwback from Stafford. That offense is just really humming right now.
And by the way, the 49ers didn't counter that with a third linebacker. They stayed with just the 2 of them, Tatum Bethune and D. Winters. They were countering 13 personnel with effectively nickel defense. So it meant that whenever you wanted to target one of those tight ends, the chances are he's being covered by a defensive back, which is a mismatch, right?
Niners fought hard offensively, at least. Mac Jones goes 33 of 39. That's 85% completions on 39 attempts. Didn't get sacked. 3 touchdowns. He had a pick on 4th down. He had to force one under pressure. Emmanuel Forbes got him there when they were trying to make a comeback attempt. But a couple nice throws in there. I thought Mac, finding Christian McCaffrey underneath, had some tight window throws to Kittle and Juwan Jennings. Thought Mac Jones played a pretty good game. And again, they were just playing from behind most of the game and couldn't get close enough. But the offense, I thought, did a really nice job.
Yeah, like if their defense had held up its end of the bargain at all in this game, this would have been pretty interesting because the 49ers offense generally was pretty good. It did, the turnovers were pretty backbreaking as well, but they could have hung in a shootout maybe if it wasn't for that. Like George Kittle was absolutely beasting in this game. He made a couple of ridiculous plays. He had like the Julio Jones touchdown, like the ridiculous, like Superman, out with one hand touching the pylon whilst the rest of you is like splayed over the sideline. Made another crazy catch over the middle as well. Christian McCaffrey was amazing. Juwan Jennings, other than fumbling the ball, was really good. Like their offense could have, should have hung in this game, but the defense just gave them no shot.
Richard Sherman calling for Mac Jones to be starting somewhere next year. Oh, no, he was calling for QB controversy with Brock Purdy coming back.
That's the more interesting thing, I think. Number one, he's a 2-year deal, right? So they would have to trade him somewhere rather than it's not like he's just walking out into a job.
He was more saying, like, you have a decision to make when and if Purdy's actually healthy.
But, so it's like the problem with the Mac Jones thing is we've just seen him struggling in several places that weren't Kyle Shanahan offenses. So it's like, do you really want to take the chance that this was just Kyle Shanahan, or Mac Jones actually rediscovered,
or did Bill Belichick just ruin him?
Right. But the point is, if you were another team looking for the next Sam Darnold or whatever, you'd be pretty twitchy about this being Mac Jones versus Kyle Shanahan. Within San Francisco, though, it becomes very interesting because now you've got a Brock Purdy decision again, like the Brock Purdy Trey Lance thing of like, it doesn't really matter how much of it is him versus Shanahan. The point is together it really works. You have the same conversation now, except you already, instead of we gave up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, it's like we've just given Brock Purdy $55 million a year, 53 or whatever they ended up paying him.
Yeah, I think Kyle Shanahan has a history of elevating quarterbacks.
Yes.
He's doing it again with Mac Jones.
And will do it for both of those quarterbacks, whether it's Mac Jones or Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and I think Brock Purdy, the high end from Brock Purdy, has been better than anything Mac Jones has put out there. Like, this is an impressive game. Mac's playing well.
Yeah.
But again, remember, we can remember more than last week. We can remember more than a year. We can remember maybe even 3 years. The best of Brock Purdy's been better than the best of Mac Jones. Mac Jones is probably playing at a Jimmy Garoppolo type of level for this offense, which is the same level that they moved on from to get Brock Purdy, which I think elevated the offense. That's where I'm at.
It is. I think a huge part of that, though, was injury related. Like, I think if Jimmy Garoppolo was made
Purdy
out of...
also played better than Garoppolo, and was more efficient.
Yeah, but if Jimmy Garoppolo was made out of the substance that Brett Favre was made out of, I don't know that they would have moved on from him.
They may not have moved on from him. They moved on from Jimmy Garoppolo for Trey Lance.
Right.
First.
But I think when
Brock
part of that
Purdy
is the
went
injuries.
into the lineup, he played better. The offense was better than it was with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, but I don't think you can just say that because they moved on from Jimmy Garoppolo because he wasn't good enough. They moved on from Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, in large part because they couldn't trust that he would make it to a 16-game season.
I'm not talking about why they did it. I'm talking about once.
That's kind of important.
No, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is when was the Niners' offense better? When Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback or when Brock Purdy was the quarterback?
But then don't say they moved on from him because that's not relevant to that point.
They made a move to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. They picked the wrong guy, Trey Lance, and they stumbled into Brock Purdy. But they made a move to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo because they wanted to get healthier, not have to deal with the injuries, and advance the offense. And when they had Brock Purdy under center, the offense was better. And I'm saying if you're ranking offenses under these 3 quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Brock Purdy, it goes Brock Purdy 1, Mac Jones, and Jimmy Garoppolo 2. You might have Garoppolo over Mac Jones, to be honest. Like, Brock Purdy's run the best Niners offense of the last 5 years under Kyle Shanahan. Sure. That's the point I'm trying to make. And unless you think but now, would you want 80% of Purdy versus 100% of Mac Jones? That's a discussion. But if Brock Purdy's healthy, like, he's the quarterback here, and he's had the best success of any Niners quarterback.
Yeah, he also wasn't, very small sample size, but he wasn't playing at that level since or this season since he got paid. It's an interesting discussion, though, because the 49ers are looking pretty good and in decent shape and still contending, and you don't know that you're going to get that version of Brock Purdy right away or whenever he comes back in the lineup. So I think long-term, Purdy should stay the quarterback until you're given a really obvious reason for that not to be the case. Shorter term, though, it's getting harder to be like, well, we've definitely got to sit down Mac Jones when Purdy's ready.
Yeah, I mean, if Purdy's still dealing with the injury, I'm fine with rolling with Mac Jones. It was an impressive game from him. They're just so beat up defensively. I don't know what the Niners are able to do on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and that's the problem that's been coming since
Right.
they lost their two best players on defense.
And then the final thing, I think such a fascinating matchup talking Rams and Seahawks. There's definitely a part of me that's looking at this Rams defense and saying they're giving it up against the Niners and this, Shanahan offense, and the Seahawks are running this, highly efficient Kubiak offense, and maybe the matchup's not like the Rams defense isn't as good as the Seahawks defense, is what I'm leaning toward. It's just the Rams offense against that Seahawks defense is going to be a great matchup, might determine the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Even though teams look really evenly matched, I just wonder if this comes down to a whole matchup thing.
Yeah.
Do the Rams have the matchup? Do the Seahawks have the matchup? But they're going to play twice in the next few weeks, and should be a good one next week in the 4 o'clock window.
By the way, fair play to Emmanuel Forbes, you mentioned before with that interception. That was a great interception. Kind of batted it to himself and deliberately, not just, look, I accidentally batted it and I can pick this off. Deliberately kind of batted it up and gave himself a second chance at it. 2 pass breakups in the game, including that one.
Playing a lot better.
Yeah, and a guy who has genuinely been slowly turning his career around with the Rams. I mean, former first-round pick, was an absolute disaster in Washington, in large part when he had to cover guys that outweigh him by 70 pounds. But the Rams, they know what to do with undersized corners. All their corners are undersized. This is a team of smaller, unusually sized athletes on the back end, and Forbes is turning his career around.
And like you were talking about during the trade deadline show, the idea of just buying low on a former first-rounder, second-rounder.
Yeah.
It's this is why teams buy low on a first-rounder, right? At some point, the guy had enough skills. You could say what you want. He was drafted ahead of Christian Gonzalez, bad move, whatever. But a buy low on a first-rounder who's talented.
That's the thing. It's not like whatever about should he have been drafted before or after this guy. Nobody was like, this guy has no talent.
Right.
He doesn't belong anywhere in this discussion. He's a total fraud, right? This is a day 3 player. Everyone, he was a good prospect who may have been overdrafted a touch, but clearly has talent.
His size, his weight.
Yeah, clearly has talent, and now the Rams are making it work.
Anything else on this one?
No, that's it. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.